I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Monday, September the 28th, 2015. 2 mortar shells from Syria landed in Israeli territory over the weekend, spillover from the Syrian conflict. The IDF responded to the fire last night with airstrikes. IDF spokesman Lieutenant Colonel Peter Lerner said the Syrian military is responsible and accountable for any aggression emanating from Syria. The IDF remains committed in defending the civilians and safeguarding the borders of Israel from all threats, he said. Israel reportedly hit 2 military targets in the retaliatory strikes. Arab media reports there were some military injuries on the Syrian side. Violence once again erupted on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. Yesterday morning, masked Palestinian youth threw stones and firecrackers at Israeli police and border police, causing them to impose an age restriction on Muslim worshippers allowed to enter the area. A spokesman for the Prime Minister's office noted that no Jewish visitors had been allowed at the site when the violence occurred, but that it occurred anyway. Spokesman Ophir Gendelman tweeted that Israel upholds the status quo on the Temple Mount. Those who violate it are Palestinian rioters who smuggled pipe bombs and firecrackers into it. This morning, Israel police had to enter the Temple Mount complex again after dozens of Palestinians barricaded themselves in the mosque and from there threw stones and firebombs at Israeli authorities. Police said it tried to engage the Waqf, who is in charge of the day-to-day administration of Muslim holy sites, to help get the rioters out of the mosque and restore calm, but that when those efforts failed, they were forced to enter the mosque and use crowd dispersal methods to seize dangerous weapons and restore order. Israel's security agency, the Shin Bet, said Saturday night that 4 Palestinian teenagers had been arrested for the fatal rock attack that took place on Rosh Hashanah that killed 64-year-old Israeli Alexander Levlovitz. The 4 teens, 2 of whom are 18 and 2 who are under the age of 18, are from the East Jerusalem Arab neighborhood of Sur Bacher. If you recall, Levlovitz's car was hit by rocks on the night of September the 13th, which made him lose control and crash. He later died of his injuries. Much speculation surrounds Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas's upcoming speech at the United Nations, which is scheduled for this Wednesday. As we reported to you earlier this month, Abbas had reportedly said that he would drop a political bombshell at the end of the speech, but refused to say what it would be. Today, the Times of Israel reports that sources in Ramallah told them that the PA leader will not announce an end of the Oslo Accords, but rather that Abbas will issue Israel some sort of ultimatum for, quote, meeting its obligations under the 1993 agreement. Ynet reports that Abbas' confidant and former minister Mahmoud Habbash said that international officials had been briefed on Abbas's remarks at the UN. Habbash told Arab media there will be no surprise that Arab and international officials haven't heard about before. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, meanwhile, is set to address the UN the day after Abbas on Thursday. He is then set to meet with U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry on Friday. Kerry reportedly met with Abbas Saturday night. And this morning began the annual UN General Assembly debate with some 160 world leaders scheduled to address the body. Today's speakers included U.S. President Barack Obama, Iranian President Hassan Rouhani, Jordan's King Abdullah II, and Russian President Vladimir Putin. And staying with Netanyahu, the Prime Minister yesterday welcomed remarks made by Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, where he called for a resolution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Netanyahu's office released a statement saying Prime Minister Netanyahu urges PA President Mahmoud Abbas once again to return immediately to the negotiating table to advance the diplomatic process. The American Jewish Committee is calling on world leaders to put a stop to the ongoing bias against Israel at the UN. In a full-page ad in the Wall Street Journal today, the AJC tries to demonstrate how the UN divides the world, calling particular attention to the UN Human Rights Council, who has issued more condemnations of Israel than of all other member states combined. The ad also includes the introduction of a new AJC website to take action on this matter. AJC Executive Director David Harris said the singular and decades-long focus on Israel has undermined the noble UN mission. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight, Monday, September the 28th. At 8 o'clock, historian Susan Zuccotti discusses the roles of Pope Pius XI and Pope Pius XII in the Holocaust with the Jewish Historical Society of Fairfield County and the Stanford Historical Society at UConn-Stanford. At 9, Director of International Interreligious Affairs for the AJC, Rabbi David Rosen, talks about Jewish relations with the Vatican. And coming up right after this newscast, at the conclusion of the papal visit, AJC Director of Interreligious and Intergroup Relations, Noah Marins, talks about the Pope's unique relationship with the Jewish community. And that's the JBS News Update for Monday, September the 28th, 2015. I'm Teisha Bader. Chag Sameach.